Hey everyone, UFC news has been a bit slow lately, so I thought it would be kind of fun to make a prediction video on who I think will be the next champions in every UFC weight class, whether it's at the next pay-per-view or whether the current champion loses, vacates, or retires. I'll be giving my take on who will most likely capture the belt next after them. We'll be going through each division from flyweight to heavyweight, so let's dive into it and let's get started. Alright, so when we look at who might be able to challenge Alexander Pantoja in the flyweight division, Tatsuro Taira is someone who stands out. Pantoja's been a dominant force with big wins over top fighters, and the dude has a solid all-around game. But Taira's skill set could actually give him a hard time. And look, man, I'm aware that he just lost to Royval recently, but the guy is young. The dude's like, what, 24 to 25 years old? He has all the time in the world to adapt and get better. And I'm going to be honest to you guys, I truly believe he's going to be the next champion. I'm calling it right now. For one, Taira's grappling is top tier. He's already shown that he can lock in submissions in tricky situations, like that triangle armbar he pulled off at Jesus Aguilar. He's calm and methodical on the ground, which could help him avoid the scrambles where Pantoja usually gets the upper hand. Then there's Taira's striking. He's got a solid reach of 70 inches and knows how to keep his opponents at a distance. He's more patient and precise with his striking compared to a lot of the aggressive guys that Pantoja has faced, which could throw Pantoja off his rhythm. And on top of that, Taira's calm under pressure. Pantoja's relentless style can wear down a lot of fighters, but Taira sticks to his game plan, staying composed no matter what. If anyone's going to make Pantoja work for that belt, Taira's skills, patient, and cool-headed approach makes him a real threat in my opinion. And honestly, if Taira doesn't manage to take the belt from Pantoja, I'm convinced that no one in the division will. If Taira can't pull it off, then it might just mean that Pantoja is just truly untouchable at 125. He could end up holding that title though until he moves up to 135 for a super fight or he decides to retire. Plain and simple, Taira feels like the last real shot for anyone in the flyweight to dethrone Pantoja. So if he doesn't do it, then I don't see anyone stepping up to get the job done. Up next, we have Merab Dvalishvili at 135 pounds. And come on guys, it's pretty obvious who's got the best chance to beat this guy, and probably the only guy who can probably beat him. That's Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar brings something different to the table, and if anyone's got the tools to take down Merab, it's him. Now let's break down why. First of all, Umar's wrestling and grappling are top notch, right up there with the best of them. Coming from Dagestan wrestling background, Umar has both the takedown defense and the control on the ground to match Merab's relentless style. Merab's go-to strategy is overwhelming his opponents with his insane pace and his non-stop takedown. But Umar's grappling could be the perfect counter. He can scramble, reverse, and make Merab work extra hard for every position, possibly slowing down that consistent pressure that Merab relies on. Then there's Umar's striking, which adds a whole new layer to this matchup. Unlike Merab, whose striking mainly sets up his wrestling, Umar's stand-up game is dynamic and beautiful. He's got a full arsenal, including head kicks, body kicks, and precise punches that could keep Merab off balance. The striking variety means Umar can control the distance and disturb Merab's rhythm, which is huge when dealing with someone who thrives on pushing the pace. Finally, Umar's patience and fight IQ could make all the difference. Merab overwhelms most fighters by keeping it chaotic and fast, but Umar's calm and calculated style means he'll likely be more composed, picking his moments, and avoiding unnecessary exchanges. This approach, combined with his defense, grappling, and skills and striking, makes Umar Nurmagomedov the most solid option to give Merab Dvalishvili a run for his money in the Bantamweight division. So yeah, I believe Umar does beat Merab. Alright, to the Featherweight division. So here's the deal with the Featherweight division. It gets pretty crazy right now. Ilia Topuria is almost looking untouchable after those huge knockout wins over Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski. His boxing skills are insane and his power absolutely terrifying. Right now, he just looks unbeatable. But if there was one guy who might have a shot at taking him down, it's Movsar Evloev. Evloev is also undefeated, and he's got a super strong grappling game thanks to his Greco-Roman wrestling background. That kind of grappling can throw off Topuria's rhythm, making it harder for him to get his punches off and just slow the whole fight down. And in Topuria's fight against Bryce Mitchell at UFC 282, Topuria faced some challenges. Mitchell managed to secure a takedown and maintain control for a portion of that fight, showcasing that Topuria can be held down. Plus, Evelev has crazy cardio and can keep up a high pace into the later rounds, and his ability to adjust mid-fight could make a difference against someone like Ilia Topuria, who's known for his knockout power. So basically, Topuria's got the power and striking. Of course, Topuria could grapple, but I can see Evelev out-grappling Topuria for the most part. The grappling, the endurance to keep him in check. And look, man, I'm not even going to say this is a lock. This is more of a stretch, but he's the biggest and best chance of beating Topuria, in my opinion. Alright, so let's dive into the lightweight division, because if anyone's got a shot at beating Islam Makhachev, it's Arman Tsarukyan. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Didn't he already lose to Islam? Isn't Islam the better counter-striker? And yeah, Islam is no joke, but here's why Arman could turn things around this time. First off, those kicks. Arman's kicks are explosive, and he's only gotten better at using them, keeping his opponents on the edge. He's also leveled up his cardio big time since their first fight, so he can keep up the pace without gassing out, and he's been working hard on his takedown defense, knowing full well that Islam's wrestling is top tier. Plus, Arman sharpened his stand-up game, especially his boxing and his taekwondo. If he can mix things up with his striking and keep that fast pace, he might just be able to throw off Islam. The key for Arman is just to stay unpredictable and adapt mid-fight so Islam doesn't get too comfortable. So yeah, if Arman brings those explosive kicks, solid defense, and endless cardio. So yeah, pretty much if Arman brings those explosive kicks, solid defense, and endless cardio, he might just be the guy who finally challenges Islam's reign. Screw it, he'll probably end up being the champion when Islam moves up. Either way, I believe this guy is gonna be the next lightweight champion, dude. Alright, moving up to the welterweight division, we got Belal Muhammad. He's a beast, crazy cardio, smart in the cage, and just really hard to wear down. Belal's all about pushing the pace and grinding his opponents out over the rounds. But if there was one guy who can really mess him up, it's Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov is undefeated, and he won every fight by stoppage, which is pretty wild. He's not just a guy looking to outlast guys, he's looking to finish them. And that's a big difference from Belal, who usually goes the distance. Plus, Shavkat's got this great mix of striking and grappling, so he's dangerous whether they're on the feet or on the ground. Physically, Shavkat got that upper hand too. He's 6'1" with a 77-inch reach, compared to Belal's 5'11" and 72-inch reach. That extra reach lets Shavkat keep things at a distance and pick his shots, making it harder for Belal to close the distance and work his usual game plan. Belal's defense is going to get tested if they go toe-to-toe, and then there's Shavkat's grappling, which is no joke. He could be the guy to neutralize Belal's wrestling and control, really making it a tough fight for him. With his finishing instinct, physical advantages, and his all-around skills, Shavkat might just be the one to shake things up and give Belal a serious run for his money. Alright, now let's get into the middleweight division. Honestly, if there's anyone that can give Dricus du Plessis a serious run for his money, it's Khamzat Chimaev. And let's be real, if Khamzat can't beat him, I don't see anyone else stopping Dricus du Plessis anytime soon. Here's why. Chimaev's the guy to watch. He's undefeated, absolutely crushed it in his last fight against Robert Whittaker. Not only did he submit Whittaker in the first round, but he also broke his jaw. That win instantly put him in the title picture, and a lot of people see him as the biggest threat to du Plessis. Now let's talk about the takedowns. Du Plessis has been taken down before by Brunson and Robert Whittaker. They both managed to get him to the mat. If those guys can do it, imagine what Khamzat can pull off. Chimaev's wrestling is just next level, super aggressive and relentless. He has the ability to completely control his opponents on the ground, which could really be a problem for du Plessis. Even if du Plessis knows what's up, he's already said that he thinks Chimaev should be next in line for a shot, and it's not hard to see why this matchup has everyone hyped. With Chimaev's power, wrestling, and non-stop pace, he could be a serious nightmare for du Plessis. I don't know, man. Du Plessis just might fluke his way to another win for all I know. It feels like this guy has plot armor or something. For all I know, he'll survive Chimaev's grappling somehow, and somehow he's going to be the one that submits Chimaev. He pulled off some wild wins before, so I wouldn't be surprised if he shocked us all over again. Alright, up next is the light heavyweight division. Right now, Alex Pereira is sitting on that throne, and he's got that terrifying striking power that we all know about. But here's the thing. Not many people have really seen how he handles grappling, especially at 205. He's been knocking out guys left and right, but what happens when he faces a real grappler threat like a Magomed Ankalaev? Ankalaev has the complete skill set that makes him a problem for just about anyone. And unlike a lot of guys Alex has faced, he doesn't rely solely on his striking. Ankalaev has a strong background in Greco-Roman wrestling and combat sambo, which means he knows how to drag you down to the mat and keep you down there. Now, Pereira has worked on his grappling, he's even been training on his judo and his ground game leading up to fights, but let's be real, training and actual facing someone like Ankalaev in a fight are two different things. If Ankalaev can close the distance and start working his wrestling, he could force Pereira into an uncomfortable territory. We're talking about a guy who knows how to drain your energy on the mat, which can completely throw off Pereira's striking power. And here's the thing, grappling takes a ton of you, especially if you're not using it to defend it against someone who can make it a grueling battle. So yeah, Ankalaev's got a real chance here. He can mix up his game, keeping Pereira guessing, and maybe even wear him down after a few rounds. We could be looking at a new champion. And honestly, seeing how Pereira deals with that kind of relentless grappling pressure, that's a whole new layer to this fight, and that's what got everybody buzzing about this fight. Alright, the final guy we have is the heavyweight division, and it's freaking Tom Aspinall. There's only one guy I could potentially see beating him, and believe it or not, it's Gelton Almeida. And I know it could be a bit of a stretch, but let me explain why. First off, Almeida's grappling is just insane. The guy is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's shown that he can take down and control his opponents like it's nothing. In his UFC debut, he scored a first-round submission, and that really put this ground game on display. Now, Aspinall is a well-rounded, but he hasn't faced anyone with Almeida's level of grappling. Then there's the cardio and pace of Almeida brings. This guy doesn't slow down, he's consistently pushing the action, keeping his opponents on the back foot. Aspinall's fights usually end pretty fast, so we haven't really seen how his cardio holds up in the later rounds. If Almeida can drag it into deep waters, that could be a whole new test for Aspinall. And while Almeida is known for his grappling, he's also known for having solid striking defense. He's good at avoiding big shots on the feet before taking things to the mat. Aspinall's striking is powerful, but if he can connect with his takedowns cleanly, then Aspinall might have a tough time. So while Aspinall is a serious force in the heavyweight division, Almeida's grappling, cardio, and overall game makes him a real threat. And if anyone's going to give Aspinall a run for his money, it's Almeida. Alright, I'm not going to lie, I didn't fully believe in all these picks, but these are probably the best possible scenarios we can get. I mean, this is MMA, the most unpredictable sport out there, so this was just for fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and like always guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.